Ever feel like your energy gets sucked dry after hanging out with a friend? Or maybe work requests pile up like an avalanche? These could be signs you need to upgrade your personal security system, not with alarms, but with something even better: boundaries.
Boundaries are not walls to keep things out.
Right there, I love that, yes.
They're bridges to let the right things in.
I love that.
They're bridges. They're only a wall when somebody keeps disrespecting you and they build the wall themselves. But they're not walls. You're not there to keep everything out your life. That's a lonely, miserable life. But what's the bridge that you need to build to get to what you want for life? So if you say, I need peace.
This video reveals 6 ways to spot a boundary breach and build your own VIP zone. Have you ever felt like the designated problem solver for your friends and family? You know, the one everyone turns to for advice, a listening ear, or to simply fix their woes. At first, it might feel good to be needed and to help others, but over time, that fixer role can start weighing heavily on your shoulders. Like take Olivia Pope from Scandal, for instance. As fictional as her non-stop fires may be, the fixer fatigue she often grappled with on the show is something many people struggle with in reality. Olivia was constantly overwhelmed by an onslaught of other people's problems and catastrophes. No matter how skilled she was at delivering solutions, new obstacles just kept piling onto her plate. Her life became consumed by crises that weren't even her own, as she sacrificed her boundaries to be the perpetual problem solver. Maybe you can relate to the cycle. You help a friend or family member again and again, thinking you're being a good person. But then the demands just keep coming with no reprieve. You find yourself giving and giving until your own cup is bone dry. That simmering frustration and exhaustion you feel, that's fixer fatigue setting in. The hard truth is, you can't continuously pour from an empty cup. Keeping it moving to another major boundary red flag. Are you always the yes friend? You know, the one who can never seem to turn down a single request or plan, even if it completely demolishes your availability. I'm talking about being an automatic yes person to an almost comical degree. Your friends hit you up last minute like, oh my gosh, can you dog sit pick me up from the airport, help me move this weekend? And despite your calendar already being packed to the gills, you just can't resist replying, yeah, no problem at all. Model Kendall Jenner has been refreshingly frank about overcoming her people-pleasing tendencies and setting firmer boundaries. As she put it, and see,
because I was overwhelmed and I felt like I was saying yes to everything because I felt really, really grateful and really honored to be in the position that I was in. So I was always saying yes. And it just took a lot out of me to the point where I just wasn't happy anymore. And so I had to set those boundaries for myself when I was about 23, 24. I really set boundaries for myself and I was like, I want to continue to do this because this is what I love.
the chronic yes person believes that relentless agreeability is what makes them a good friend, partner, or family member. That diluted sense of loyalty convinces you to chronically prioritize everyone else's asks over your own boundaries and well-being. Before long, you're completely drained, overwhelmed, and deeply resenting how little respect others seem to have for your time and bandwidth. Gabriella Union also had the same to say.
The advice I would give my younger self 10 years ago would be that you don't have all the answers. Don't stress out. Some of your day ones have been hating since day one, and getting rid of toxic people is probably the best anti-aging thing you could do in your life, because a terrible crowd will age you like cigarettes. Say no more than you say yes. You'll be a lot less stressed. Like, saying no is the best anti-aging advice. Create boundaries. Don't tell everyone everything. It's okay to have a little mystery about yourself. All of these things will go into having a lot more mind, body, soul synergy and helping you maintain your peace, your grace, and your joy, all of which affects how the hell you look.
Another scenario where poor boundaries can really do a number on you: the negotiation table. Whether it's a job offer, business deal, or just trying to get a fair shake, have you found yourself repeatedly compromising and ending up with the short end of the stick? It starts small, agreeing to take on that extra project, saying yes to unfair terms, letting the other party dictate everything. But over time, these little compromises stack up until you realize you're barely getting a sliver of what you actually deserve. And make no mistake, there is a heavy cost to adopting that "just take whatever I can get" mindset in the long run. You start small by accepting lowball offers and unfair terms. But soon enough, you find yourself trapped in a cycle of scarcity thinking that convinces you this is as good as it gets. Your self-confidence gets chipped away negotiation after negotiation as you're conditioned to expect the bare minimum. Before you know it, years have gone by leaving money, possibilities, and your self-worth on the table. All because you lack the boundaries to walk away from bad deals that disrespected the value you bring. And then again, there are those people who just suck you dry with their negativity, drama, or sheer toxic presence. After an interaction with them, you feel physically and emotionally depleted, like they drained every last drop of vitality right out of you. Your mood plummets, anxiety spikes, and you're left wondering, why do I still talk to them? Energy vampires come in many forms: the chronic complainers, narcissists who make everything about them, friends stuck in constant crises of their own making. And while their struggles may be very real, there's no denying their vibes zap your motivation and turn even the sunniest events gloomy and irritable. Get this.
Boundaries aren't for them, they're for you. And if someone violates your boundary, you don't set another boundary, you remove yourself from the situation. The energy contagion is so real. And when watching a horse, when it's around ugly energy or energy that doesn't serve them, that's depleting or confusing, it just removes itself. That was a tool that I didn't even know existed.
Continuing our look at signs you desperately need stronger boundaries, let's discuss the struggle to prioritize self-care. Because at the end of the day, if you can't pour from an empty cup, what good are you to anyone else? I'm sure you can relate to the guilty feeling that arises whenever you try to take a break or do something just for yourself. That nagging voice in your head pipes up. But what about everyone else's needs? Shouldn't you be helping them instead of being selfish? The ability to occasionally disengage, recharge, and refill your cup gets treated like an undeserved luxury. Yet as Simone Biles powerfully stated, put your own self first, because if you don't, then you're no good for anybody else. At the end of the day, self-care actualized through boundaries isn't a luxury. It's an essential requirement for sustainable success and healthy relationships with yourself and others. Don't let self-deprivation masquerading as generosity drain you to the last drop. Can you relate to this all-too-common relationship dynamic? You're constantly making sacrifices, compromising your wants and needs just to keep the peace. You find yourself minimizing your own opinions and desires out of fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rocking the boat, fear of being seen as too demanding. In these situations, you become the invisible partner. Your voice, your boundaries, your humanity gets erased as you contort yourself smaller and smaller to avoid upset. Everything defaults to revolving around the other person's wishes, their convenience, their comfort. For instance, look at this.
Over the recent years, I've been there for her, celebrated her birthday, been in her wedding, even through her baby shower. And I noticed that she doesn't do the same for me. Like, I had a really big 40th birthday celebration and she was not there to help me celebrate my birthday.
Inadvertently, you give others permission to treat you as an afterthought by constantly prioritizing their reality over your own. And in the process, you suffocate the amazing qualities and perspective you could have brought to the relationship as an equally valued partner. At the end of the day, stronger personal boundaries aren't a nice to have, they're essential for your well-being. So, let's flip the script. Identify one area we covered where you're struggling and commit to implementing just one new boundary this week. One small step to reinvest in yourself and reclaim your power. Let me know in the comments what it is for you.